Thank you, Speaker. I'm pleased to stand up and speak to this motion that will provide free water testing for rural nonprofit organizations. It's very important to ensure that we have safe drinking water across the province and that this safe drinking water and access to these tests are accessible. No one should be exposed to unsafe drinking water in the province. We learned our lesson in Walkerton. We learned a very tragic lesson about the importance of having clean, safe drinking water. And it exposed the deficiencies of legislation, and it showed that Ontario, the province of Ontario, has a greater role to play in ensuring safe drinking water. And Ontario is, as many of us know, a very diverse and vast geographic landmass. It's no secret that I live in northwestern Ontario. My riding alone is about 350,000 square kilometers, and consequently there are many people who live in what the ministry terms TUMOs. We are townships without municipal organization, and it's impossible to provide the public services that are necessary, like safe drinking water or public drinking water to people who live in these areas. I myself am only 4 kilometers outside of Dryden, but I have my own well and septic field. I also have some experience with various. It's not just nonprofit organizations that run up to these problems, that experience the financial limitations and maybe the inability to pay for regular tests. It's also some of our for-profit organizations and businesses. I know my family has a tourist camp up in Lac Seul, and they said it's very expensive because they have to send the samples, and they're about just over 100 kilometers outside of the nearest center. So it's expensive and it's costly all the way around. If it's costly and prohibitive for businesses, I can only imagine how expensive and how difficult it is for some of our nonprofit organizations. And one nonprofit organization that pops to mind when I think of my riding and home in Dryden is Second Chance Pet Network. They are an animal welfare organization that has sprung up in the last couple of years. They've undergone extensive fundraising through personal appeals to people in the community. They also participated in Pepsi's Refresh Everything Challenge, where they had 2 or 3 rounds of voting where everyone in the community and everyone, in fact, many people in our region were constantly voting for them, and they were successful in winning the $100,000. And that has enabled them to buy a shelter, to build it from scratch. It's in an area that they will be benefiting from this. If this motion is passed, if we were to bring this forward and enact it and make it legislation, they would definitely welcome these changes. But there are some areas where this falls short. First of all, I'm concerned that this might be a form of downloading, that we might end up downloading these costs onto municipalities and onto our public health units who are already strapped for cash. But the big concern for me in my riding is with First Nations communities. In Ontario, we have whole communities who don't have access to safe drinking water. Never mind the testing. I mean, they wouldn't be included in this motion, but they actually don't have the access. So this is really a feel-good change. It's definitely a step in the right direction. I'm not going to dispute that. I do think that there are many nonprofit organizations who will benefit from this if it does go forward. But there is a gap. There's a real disconnect. That the member of the government side is concerned with making it easier to test water for some, which is, again, very important, no doubt. But it's troubling that in Ontario we still have entire communities who lack this infrastructure, and they can't even have clean drinking water in their communities. And there are a host of examples in my area. So again, this is a step in the right direction. I would really like to see it passed. And I'd like to see us step up to the plate and do something to help some of these communities have access to the infrastructure that's needed. So I do thank the member opposite for bringing this motion forward.
Thank you.